Hi all. I want to visit this problem of resolution on camera in this sharing, all because of it's an FAQ. Everybody is talking about it over the last uh, few decades, ever since we have digital camera. I started with Canon and well, the smaller cameras I forgot, but like 5D2 was like 20 million pixel, and in general in the market it's like 20 million 20 MP versus maybe 50 45 MP, and there are always questions about, do I need that? The main argument is, do I need a higher MP camera? And the general answer is you don't need it, because you don't see the difference. And even you print, you only need certain very low amount of megapixel to print it with a big pin. So this is what we generally see as an argument. So as a camera owner, of course I like to have higher resolution, higher wherever gears money can buy. So it's just out of my own interest. I like to use my more RAM for my computer, higher CPU power, better GPU, and all sort of. But is it really necessary? So from a technical point of view, and also just for my own interest, I try to look it up and see and think about it from a systems point of view. Now, in general, if you think about digital camera as like basically like sampling from analog information light, like that you sample at a certain frequency, and then you store it up and capture it in a two-dimensional pixel, kind of like a matrix. And each pixel and number of pixels are basically the indicated amount of information that you use to encode the input signal. And in theory, obviously, the higher megapixel that you encode this information, the more information you retain and capture in that image. And if you look at it from a systems point of view, meaning if you use a computer program, for example, to take that input, process it, and output something, and in general, the higher information content the input is, the better the algorithm could make use of it to generate the design output. So the resolution here means it's not just for your eyes, which your human brain as a computer. It's also would be very useful for your post-processing, or for even in-camera processing when you have any algorithmic processing of input information. So modern cameras are not like film camera. The second that you capture those into your CMOS sensors, it actually obviously does a lot of processing, regardless of its high level in image style type of S-curve type of shaping of the image, or the basic foundational denoise and even HDR. So the idea is not just whether or not your eyes can capture the difference. It's more nowadays into whether or not the machine can make use of the information content. So there's no denial, at least from the way they look at it. The higher megapixel your money can buy, the better. And I'm not saying there's no room for 20 megapixel camera compared with 50. Of course, it's a matter of, there are other factors like budget, like whether or not you like it that way or not. But if all other things being equal, the argument is not on whether or not you need it. You always need it, but on whether or not you balance the needs, and then you make sacrifice. I mean, you trade off, and that might suit different people. So if we just isolate everything, we get back to the main topic: is, do we need higher megapixel? Yes, the answer is always we need higher megapixel. It could be even more down the road until the technology allows patrol to a certain. I'm not sure how it would be, but in general, we are not up to that yet. As to the cons, like there are also arguments about, oh, now you have much bigger file size, it's not necessary and slow down your workflow, so and you eat up a lot of the space and costly. Lately I switched to say a Nikon Z8, and from a 87R4 I'm actually lowering my megapixel from 60 to 45. But the difference now is I have Safe Express with even though it's 2.0, but with NVMe 3 2 lanes, I'm getting like in general like a card reader with a 5 gig or 10 gig USB 3. You got about at least about 500 megabytes per second to even more than that. So you read files pretty much faster than a lot. The old computer, of course, you're not talking about a USB 2 480 megabit per second. That's of slow standard. You're now up to even 10 gig per second. So it's manifold difference. And then now SSD are like a 2 terabyte. It could be like about 80 pounds, even 100. So the cost of storage are getting much lower. And if you have like myself, I have tons of archive to store. I could archive them onto a much cheaper hard disk, the magnetic type, while the faster one SSDs are used for closer range, more recent files processing. So in general, these are not a problem. So the processing power are increasing much faster than the increase in resolution, and I'm not worried about if I get a GFX a 1000 MP camera. I probably would be as happy as it is now with 45, meaning I would love to have one of those, but then my other concerns are with the camera lens and the cost of having those lens which are not used often, and it's not very portable, that sort of thing. But if they all are getting more eco, I mean, all those vendors and manufacturers are going forward to medium frame, being 1000 megapixels, and when that happens, becomes a industry standard, then all the lenses will be much more interchangeable and more flexible, even more cost effective over the application, and that would be the time that many people are switching over also. I guess it's not much further in the future. It's just me. It might be there are a lot of people already using it for at least as for studio and landscape. As to the final, go back to the original question, whether or not it's necessary. It is necessary. Whether or not it's mandatory, it is not mandatory. So it's a personal choice. But the argument I would say is not on you don't need it. That's our argument. Is that you don't you weigh it less than other factors. That's your choice. So if other choices are equal, yes, we do need high resolution. And I hope from a perfectionist point of view, in times to come, we probably are talking about large frame format, like large media, kind of 10 by 10 in the same time, but with digital resolution, and that's huge. We'll see how it goes, and maybe some very high definition pictures are there. Remember, nowadays there are high definition photography which are talking about being able to zoom in to very minute fine details. You said you don't pixel peep, but there are applications to use it, and I personally don't see why not, because you could encode so much details into a file, and whether or not today you want to watch it that way, you can tell the difference, it's fine. But in the future, then maybe just a tiny corner of it, you magnify it, it becomes another picture. So this is a very interesting area of photography also, because you take one picture, but actually you embed maybe 1,000 pictures inside that picture. And for each one of that single tiny picture, you could magnify it and see how it is when time comes in the future. And that's something I would say is intriguing, when history or memories can be read like that. So yes, megapixels are important, or gigapixel in the future. Hopefully we'll see that soon. Cheers, bye.